Hey folks, Jordan with My Strategic Forecast Inside the Numbers Live, and I want to take you through a trade that I made in the S&P 500 using the SDS ETF, which is a leveraged short against the S&P 500. This is a trade that I took in the live room today, and what's unique about it is it actually took quite a while to play itself out. So it teaches us about patience and waiting for the trade to work itself out using the parameters that you set. Now, in this right chart, you'll see the SPY, which is the ETF proxy for the S&P 500, and the vertical line denoting today's price action. Now, you'll see that initially, the price came down into the 408.50, which was our pivot point for early on in the morning. And you'll see this talked about in David's recap videos. From there, we actually were looking for a short between $410.35 and $411.50. Now, if we got closes, say a half hour, over $411.50, the trade was wrong and we take it off at a loss, no big deal. It's happened before, right? The thing is that when you get into these trades, sometimes they can take quite a while to work out. And it's also good to understand the risk management that goes along with it, because you might get an entry, as I did here at 410.35, but then I would scale in additional positions as it went higher. And you'll see that over here in the left graph with the SDS. As the S&P 500 dropped, I made my initial purchase when it got to the $410.35. Now, as you'll see, it consolidated a little bit in the SPY before moving higher. And the SDS did the same thing, albeit moving lower. So as it went along, I purchased more and more shares, gradually increasing them as it got closer to my stop out area. The reason I did that is because I wanted to get as good of an average entry price as possible, and every additional share that I added on had slightly overall less risk because it was closer to my stop out. So that's why I went in light to start and then gradually increased as I went along. That allowed me to get a lower average entry price. From there, I had to wait actually about an hour before it finally got up and hit my profit target. And you can see here, that's when the SPY itself made its way down and got me out a little bit below $410. Now, that would only have worked had I scaled in appropriately, because otherwise I wouldn't have had much of a gain from $410.35 down to around $409.90. But because I had scaled in with that gradual increase, I was able to walk away with a nice little profit. Now, as you can see here, the SPY came back up and stopped me out on the last bit of the trade before actually getting down and hitting the ultimate target that I was shooting for of $408.50. This is an important development because this is what we're seeing more commonly today with a lot of the chop in the S&P 500. And it's a big reason why I'm taking larger positions off at my first profit target, because we're seeing a lot more of them come back, retest, and stop people out. That's why you have to be cautious and work with your risk management to make sure that you get into the trade and scale in at an appropriate fashion. Now, conservative traders could have waited all the way up to the $411.50. That's totally reasonable. However, every once in a while when you do that, you're going to miss out on the trade entirely. But when you do it and you get into the trade, you're much closer to risk. So there is a trade-off there. But this is the trade that we had today, and I thought it was interesting given how bullish the market had been, and for the fact that it actually took, like I said, a little bit more than an hour or so for it to completely play itself out. So there you have it. This was an S&P 500 trade that I took in the live room today. The live room is a great opportunity to interact with somebody who's an active trader and see how they manage their positions, talk through them, and help you understand how to appropriately manage risk and work the different levels that you receive. It's also a great way to identify trades that aren't available to the regular Inside the Numbers members. In the live room, we offer a 7-day free trial for anybody that's interested, so you can check it out and make sure that it's right for you. My name is Jordan with Inside the Numbers Live. Thanks for joining me.